All right, final update on this show. Let's kick it all day to Oxford. Man, we had some bold talk here. This is the best time of year. Everybody's undefeated. Everybody's thinking it's going to stay that way. Of course, it rarely does for hardly anybody, but optimism, man. This is the time for optimism. And I'm not here for people bashing any coaches or players or anything that are are optimistic. I mean, this is the time for it. So I'm here for it. I think listeners of this show know we try to be as optimistic as we can with just about every team. Even when teams we think are finishing dead last, we'll think to the positives there on their roster. So let's kick it over to linebacker Lakia Henry, who thinks Ole Miss defense is going to be one of the best in the SEC and the nation.
How good do you think this defense can realistically be? I know the expectations are high and there's a lot of energy, but there's a lot of really good offenses in this conference, and obviously things weren't great last year, but it seems like you guys are really excited. How good do you think this group can be?
I think we can be the best defense in the SEC and the country. And I'm not saying that because it's Ole Miss or it's us. I'm saying that because I truly believe that with my heart.
Now, again, before anyone piles on this kid, one of the better linebackers here on the Ole Miss roster here, which I know some of you probably laughed as soon as you saw this. And again, I'm not sitting here saying Ole Miss is going to be the best in the SEC on defense after what we saw last year. But, let's not kid ourselves. Defense was down across the board last year. And then you're bringing in a new staff. Tackling was limited because of COVID. And no spring. I mean, it was set up to be a disaster across the board. So the defenses should be better all across the country, not just in Oxford. But aside from that, because you could say that those same things I just said with just about any program in the country, here's some of the things Ole Miss got going for them this year. 12 super seniors returning on defense alone. I'll say again, 12 super seniors returning for Ole Miss just on that defense. Otis Reese, of course, the former Georgia safety, he's going to be eligible all season long. And he truly did make an impact when he came back for Ole Miss last season, late in the year after finally gaining his eligibility. So now you got Otis Reese full season. We got some key starters here. Sam Williams, Momo Sanango. And then, don't forget this guy. Sophomore edge, Demon Clowney, former LSU commit, and the cousin of Jadeveon Clowney. And, last season it was incredibly tough for everybody, but it was especially tough on these freshmen. It was, how could you have truly came in to last year's situation and made a huge impact? I think Demon Clowney is going to be well positioned to really make a name for himself in Oxford this year. And that's not it. I mean, they got 4-star defensive lineman Tywon Malone just incoming. He was the number 1 player from New Jersey, picked Ole Miss over Texas A&M. They got the top 2 junior college defensive tackles in the program now, just signed this offseason, Isaiah Eaton and Jamon Gordon. So right there, you got plenty of beef up the middle of the defense. For whatever reason, I guess just because these things happened a long time ago, people dismiss them. Transfers. Nigel Knott, former Alabama defensive back, who his career there at Alabama didn't live up to the massive hype due to injuries, but now he's back, so that's going to help Ole Miss. Chase Campbell from Maryland. He was all Big Ten honorable mention, played for DJ Durkin up there with the Terrapins. He's eligible. And Jake Springer, the former Navy defender, second team All-ACC selection in 2019, was not eligible last season. Now he is. So you combine all these pieces, having 2 camps under their belts, spring and fall. Again, I'm not sitting here saying Ole Miss is going to be the SEC's best defense. I think that'd be crazy to say. But I'm right there with Lakia Henry thinking this is going to be one of the most improved units in the SEC. And, well, hell, it better be because they were about the worst damn defense in the SEC in all the country last season. But sticking with Ole Miss here, final note here, Jeff Lebby, the offensive coordinator, also spoke with the media here, and he gave an update on John Rice Plumlee, how that's going at receiver. And then he had some outstanding comments here for Jerrion Ealy, their running back.
Obviously, we've been talking a lot about John Rice Plumlee and kind of his transition. What have you kind of seen from him, and has the transition been easier, harder than you thought, and do you see him as a major contributor?
One, yes, the major contributor part, absolutely. He's going to play a ton of snaps for us. He's done a great job through 4 days. It's like going back to the bowl game. He practiced 5 days before going to playing the bowl game. Now he's gotten some good work, spent a ton of time in here this summer once baseball was over, and he's done a good job. So counting on him.
All right, so anytime we get one of these stories, like Eli Stowers, I don't think we've mentioned that, of Texas A&M, signed as a quarterback. Now he's working out with the tight ends. We saw it last year with Luke Doty, who signed with South Carolina to be a quarterback, and then he started taking reps at receiver. Now, of course, back at quarterback. But, we really got to give it up to these guys in today's modern era. I mean, this used to be something that happened all the time, but it's just not that way anymore, where especially a quarterback, these touted quarterbacks especially, coming into a program, maybe, I don't want to say he's getting hit with adversity, but I don't think John Rice Plumlee envisioned he was going to have to play receiver for Ole Miss here. But, hey, we've heard no complaints, transitioning right over to it, just like Lane Kiffin has said, just like Jeff Lebby has said, trying to give him an opportunity to make plays for the Rebels this season, get the ball in his hands. And by all accounts, I mean, he's fully embraced that. So in today's modern era of transfers, you got to hand it to guys like this that are willing to do what they can to help the team and put the team first over themselves, because we just, I know that is probably that's the most common across the country, but I don't know. I honestly don't even know if I can say that with a straight face anymore. So I just wanted to make that note. And then, of course, Jeff Lebby pumping up Jerrion Ealy. And everybody talks up Matt Corral for good reason there in Oxford. But Jerrion Ealy, Jeff Lebby hyping up his running back. I thought Ole Miss fans would get fired up to hear this. He came in with a ton of hype. He's lived up to it. But it sounds like Ealy is poised for his best season yet here in Oxford if Lebby can get him the ball.
Jerrion talked a little bit the other day about wanting to expand his role in this offense. Just first off, how's that going? And second, how do you kind of see his role expanding?
He needs the football. Yeah. If I'm smart, I'll get him the football. But that, whether it's in the backfield, not in the backfield, wherever it is, the guy needs the ball. He's special, and we're going to find ways to get it to him for sure.